Well, it's been a long wait for Fujifilm shooters to get integration with industry-leading gimbal systems, but now in 2020, I'm happy to report that the wait is over. And to prove it, here are some clips of me awkwardly running alongside a bicycle, trying not to trip over my feet and smash into a barrel cactus. Hey everybody, I'm Seth and welcome to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, I am a professional photographer and I travel quite a bit across the American West with my Airstream, and so that's why I'm bringing you this video inside a trailer. I've been shooting projects with Fujifilm since 2016 with the X-T1, and all this time there haven't been any gimbal systems that have played nicely with the Fujifilm ecosystem. I didn't know why that was, but it's been kind of frustrating. Now in 2020, Fujifilm has just rolled out a firmware upgrade to the Fujifilm X-T3, so with version 3.1 we have integration with gimbal systems. Enter the Zhiyun Weebill S. So I've had my eye on this little fella for months now, and online reviewers have all said pretty much the same thing. It's the perfect gimbal with its nice, small, sleek design, its strong motors, its underslung handle, the motion lapse trajectory, and the image transmission system. It all sounded really cool. So when Zhiyun reached out for a partnership on this video, I said yes, because I really wanted to test out the integration with Fujifilm and see how well it worked, test out all the features, and report to you guys how it performed. This is my honest feedback, and if the product hadn't lived up to the hype, I would have sent it back weeks ago and we wouldn't be sitting here now. I've been pretty happy with the Weebill S this far. That said, the integration is only about 75% complete. Since all this functionality is new, there are still some wrinkles to be ironed out in this version of the firmware. Things like the aperture control and the shutter speed control while in video mode, those don't actually work yet, but it's safe to assume that since the ball's rolling on this integration, we'll see full functionality in the near future. But for now, we have start and stop record, we have the autofocus trigger, we have ISO control. Those are all working like a charm in video mode. And a big bonus that I discovered, you may have noticed the X-T4 sitting here. It has this new functionality built in, and what's more is that the flip out screen actually clears the motor arm, so that's not an issue, and the motors are actually strong enough so that you don't have to rebalance the whole system when the screen comes out. So all of this is really good news for Fujifilm shooters. If you already have the Weebill S or you plan on getting one to use with your X-T3 or X-T4, be sure to upgrade the Weebill into the latest firmware. And then when you go into camera settings, Fuji should come up as a camera option. In photo mode, we get grip control of the shutter speed, the ISO, and the exposure compensation. There's also focus trigger and of course image capture. On the movie side, we're currently just getting start, stop, record and adjustments like ISO and autofocus trigger, but those limitations don't bother me because honestly, when I'm shooting video, I'm not fiddling with that stuff. If I'm gonna change the exposure, I'll twist the variable ND on the front of the lens. So it would be nice to have the full functionality, but honestly, it's not bothering me at all. But yeah, the footage that I'm getting with my X-T3 and 4 on this gimbal has been really nice. As far as the hardware goes, I can vouch that the build quality is really nice. The way it feels in the hand, the overall design, and the function is top-notch with high-quality materials. I love the portability. It fits very nicely in my backpack, and for traveling, it's really convenient. It's great that I can stand it up on its own. The mini tripod base is really handy. Balancing the gimbal is really easy once you've done it a few times. These lock switches are really useful for balancing and for traveling with it. It makes it so that the gimbal arms don't flop around. I like the battery setup. They're right here in this center compartment. I do wish that you could plug the unit directly into USB for charging, but the battery life has been pretty good. Although if you do have the motor strength turned up to maximum, to the strong setting, it lasts not nearly as long as even just the middle setting. Another bonus is that you can get backup batteries on Amazon for actually really cheap. So the battery situation is good. Well, there are a slew of YouTube videos already out there covering the Weebill S modes, but I'll just go over them real briefly. This is vortex mode, obviously. We have underslung mode. If we take the handle off, put it up here, it's underslung for low angle shots or just general carrying purposes. Default modes are pan follow mode, which is with the switch up. In pan follow, it's just as it sounds. You can turn it left to right and it will follow your pan. With the L, which is the switch down, stands for lock mode. So in that mode, the camera will stay facing forward in any direction that you turn it or move it. One pretty cool thing is that in pan follow mode or lock mode, you can just manually grab it and set it to whatever position you want. It'll stay there. A double tap on the trigger button will just reset it. Speaking of the trigger button, if we give it a triple tap, it will flip around into selfie mode. We also have the go mode for getting quicker motions and capturing action. The POV mode, so what that is gonna do is just kind of simulate an actual point of view of a person. It'll roll side to side a little bit. It'll look down. Okay, and so another feature that I'm really stoked on is the motion lapse trajectory. So you go into the ZY Play app to set that up, and basically what it lets you do is point your camera into the night sky. You set these waypoints and set your interval and your shutter speed, and it will track these points in the night sky and create a motion moving time lapse. Like, it's amazing. I could do an entire video on the image transmission module, so if that's something you're interested, let me know down in the comments. But so basically what that does is it syncs the image signal through the HDMI wirelessly to your phone, and then you can sync the motion of your phone with the gimbal so that as you're moving your phone, the gimbal is moving along with it. It's a pretty dang cool feature. Again, let me know if that's something you're interested in. Okay, so one more little nugget that I'll share with you guys before I go. I have added a Manfrotto Baseplate attachment onto this gimbal right here. I will link to it down in the description below. So basically what that lets me do is, like I just demonstrated, pop it off, set it onto a tripod really quickly. I can put it back on here, and every time I take it off and put it back on, I don't have to rebalance the gimbal. It's a beautiful thing. Okay guys, well that about wraps it up. If you enjoyed any of this information, found it useful, please subscribe, smash that like button. Let me know if you plan on using an X-T3 or X-T4 with the Weebill S. I'd love to hear your feedback. Until next time, get outside, get creative, and I'll see you down the road.